Thank you. Well, it's so nice to be here. I want to say a big thank you to Jeff for inviting me to play this evening. Also to Scott for running the sound. Thanks, Scott. And to you all for coming out and supporting live music. I want to say, or just spare a thought for all those people that you may have seen queuing up on the sidewalk just now who wanted to join us, but we had to turn them away because we just felt they weren't quite sexy enough. So congratulations, everybody else. It's been a long time coming. I've come all the way down from New York City to be with you here, but I'm very glad to be here at the focal point this evening. Happy to be here in Maplewood. Happy to be here in the USA. Happy to be here with you. And this is called Happy to Be Here. It may be right or wrong. It may come rain or shine. It may be short or long, and sweet or bitter wine. I don't care no more, 'cause I'm happy to be here. The people come and go like the changing weather. And even though I know that nothing lasts forever, I don't care no more, 'cause I'm happy to be here. And what's the reason for the wonder? I'm so glad to be alive. I saw no lightning, heard no thunder. I only looked into your eyes, oh my darling. So let the rain come down, let the sun shine on us. The happiness we found is never taken from us. We'll go on and on, being happy to be here. It may be right or wrong, it may come rain or shine. It may be short or long, and sweet or bitter wine, but I don't care no more. I'm so happy to be here. I don't care no more. I'm so happy to be here. Happy to be here with you. So happy to be here with you. So much. So you may be wondering who I am. So the name is Rupert. It's one of those names that says, I don't come from Missouri. Yeah, I come from London, England. I've been in America now for about 16 years. And my name kind of helps to set me apart a little bit, so that's okay. Second name is Waits. So the whole thing reads Rupert Waits. Well, what does Rupert wait for? So much of life is waiting. This is a song about waiting, called Waiting to Begin. When I was a little boy, the world was like a Christmas toy, life a game that I was sure to win, and I'm waiting to begin. Work hard and get ahead, in time all things will come, they said. Life is only so much spin, and I'm waiting to begin. I'm waiting to begin. Still waiting to begin. I'm waiting to begin. I'm still waiting to begin. I never crossed the starting line. The race has left me far behind. I'm no longer in my prime. Still the siren voices sing. They're calling from the promised land, stolen from me by some sleight of hand. Life's a shadow of the one that I planned, until I find the real thing. I'm waiting to begin. Still waiting to begin. I'm waiting to begin. I'm still waiting to begin. Days come and go, and all I really know is that I'm slowly getting older. No more time to waste to find the joy in the race. It's already halfway over. Let me do all that I intend. I'm gonna give all that I have to spend. The road is rushing towards the end, but I'm waiting to begin. Still waiting to begin. I'm waiting to begin. Waiting to begin. I'm still waiting to begin. Folks, you see, I was desperately smiling at the people on the sidewalk, trying to say, "Yes, come in and join us. Come in and join us." Couldn't win them this time. Never mind. Okay, so this is one of my oldest songs. I wrote this next song about 25 years ago now, when I was about 3, give or take. Yeah, I've been 28 for a long time. It's a great age. I recommend staying 28 forever. This really is one of my oldest songs. It's actually been recorded by quite a few other artists, and I was talking to Jerry just now. It's Jerry's now. I'm sorry, yes. About songs of mine that have been covered, which means being recorded by someone else. I've had about 35 of my songs covered by other people. Unfortunately, no big names, but it's always very affirming to me when someone goes to the trouble and expense of recording something that I've written. And this is one of those songs. I wrote this in London, England, and perhaps for that reason it's about rain. And I know that we're expecting rain this evening, and apparently it's high time you got some rain. Well, in England we get too much rain, and this is really about that moment when the rain has gone. We look out of our windows and see the world just glittering and trembling and full of promise after the rain. And we have been through a long period of rain, I'm sure you will agree, here in America and all over the world. We as human beings have been through a long period of gloomy weather. I'm talking about the COVID crisis, but we have got the better of that disease, and here we are meeting again as people in one room. Doesn't it feel good to be back? Yeah. It beats playing to your laptop, let me tell you that. So this is about the moment when we look out of our windows and see the world full of promise once more, begging us to come and enjoy it to the full, as we used to do, after the rains. This is called After the Rains. shakes his feathers dry after the rains are gone, makes his home the wide blue sky after the rains are gone, and colors waiting to amaze are open to the gentle rays of the day to come after the rains are gone. And we will walk in clearer lights after the rains are gone, and we will see with clearer sight after the rains are gone. And when the rain dries on our cheeks to leave us on our mountain peak, then we will hear our vision speak. After the rains are gone, far from the thunder's reach, we'll hear a different song, love calling each to each, and through the mist of joy and pain, the morning bird will sing again, although the night was long. And if no trace of us remains, just say we've walked in love's domain. His will be our song after the rains are gone. The eagle shakes her feathers dry after the rains are gone, and makes her home the clear blue sky after the rains are gone, after the rains are gone. So I would like to tell you briefly about my CDs, which are for sale there in the silver box at the back of the room. Now, not many people buy CDs these days, and as you've noticed, I'm sure cars are no longer made with CD players in them, which is a serious blow to musicians, I have to tell you. But I will always go on thinking in terms of CDs. As a writer, as a songwriter, I always think in terms of the big picture, the broad canvas, if you like. And for me, a CD should be more than just a random collection of songs. It is a journey. It has a style and a sound and a theme. And it's a journey on which I would like to take you as a listener. So if you download a song rather than the album, that's fine. But you miss the bigger picture, which I'm hoping you will share with me, which is the journey on which I would like to take you if you buy the CD. The other thing I want to mention about my CDs is that they have nutritional value. Because if you buy them, then I eat. You know, when I first became a musician, I weighed 500 pounds. Now look. My 2022 CD, which I'm bringing with me this evening, was released in 2022. It's called For the People. And that phrase actually comes from the Gettysburg Address, one of the most beautiful texts in all American literature, in my opinion. And the idea of government of the people, for the people, by the people, which is the reason why America is still looked to by the rest of the free world as the leader of the free world, and why it's still such a beacon of hope to everybody in the free world. The idea of a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And I wanted to find some music that would go with that idea. I asked myself what music would accompany, would suggest the idea of being for the people. And I guess the answer really is folk music, however you define that. And in my case, I went back to my roots in English, specifically English folk tales, and I researched old English folk stories, and I then wrote some songs based loosely on those old English folk stories. So it was a kind of marriage of the traditional and the contemporary. And it kind of worked. So I'd like to share some of those songs with you now, a couple of them anyway. Now, England being an island, the stories that you read in the folklore of England are often about the sea, the beauty of the sea, the danger of the sea, the cruelty of the sea, the mystery of the sea. And this is called To the Sea.
Can you tell me where my true love lies? What's that to me? What's that to me? Did she pass by on her morning ride? Follow the river to the sea. Were there wildflowers in her chestnut hair? What's that to me? What's that to me? It was for my sake she them did wear. Follow the river to the sea. There she waits on the sun-warmed sands while the waves rise and fall, where the old ruined castle stands and silence gazes from its walls. There she watches the sailors make land, each with treasures galore. They will show her the pearls in their hands that they have brought from distant shores. And in time to come she'll not grow old. What's that to me? What's that to me? For a rusty coin she'll trade her soul. Follow the river to the sea. Can you tell me where my sweetheart lies? What's that to me? What's that to me? Did you hear her sing as she passed by? Follow the river to the sea. Follow the river to the sea. Follow the river to the sea.
So I'd like to continue the nautical theme with another song based loosely on some old English folk tales. Now, if you go to the southwest part of England, Devon, Cornwall, Dorset in particular, on the coast, people there will tell you that you must look out to sea at sundown and you are sure to spy a mermaid sitting on the rocks, particularly after you've had a few drinks, probably. You know what a mermaid is, of course, half fish, half woman, a beautiful, mysterious creature of the deep. Now, if you do happen to meet a mermaid on your travels and you are a seafaring person, I recommend that you are nice to that mermaid, because mermaids are in league with the moon in a kind of feminine mystique, and the moon controls tides. So if you are seafaring or considering a journey by sea, be nice to mermaids, is my advice. This particular mermaid is trying to get home to her cave under the sea, but she can't get there because the captain of a ship has anchored with his anchor over the mouth of her cave, and she's stuck, can't get in to feed her babies. So she's begging the captain to weigh anchor and leave so she can get home. But it may be a fictional story. I like to think it's true, and this is called, I based this song upon it, and this is called Oh Captain. Oh Captain, weigh anchor, I pray, for I may not return home till your anchor be raised. If you like my silvery tail, if you like my bright fishy scales, and my hair much lighter than the breeze, let me show you how thankful I can be. Hear my loved ones calling to me from our home deep under the sea. Draw your anchor from the ocean floor, where it lies
is now blocking my door. Oh Captain, weigh anchor, I pray. I beg you, let me go on my way. My young ones are hungry in their lonely cave. Oh, let not their watery home be their grave. My husband below, he is one of your kind, and his voice is sweeter than wine. I tempted him as I lay on the sand, and that same day he gave me his hand. Now each evening you may hear us sing to the moon and her sister the wind. They will send you calm and friendly seas if you'll grant this favor to me. Oh Captain, weigh anchor, I pray. I beg you, let me go on my way. Have pity on this comely maid, for I may not return home till your anchor shall be weighed. This is a relatively new song which comes from my just recorded CD, which is called Elegies. It's actually going to be available this very week, but it's not available just yet. And this is another song which is loosely inspired by some older texts. In my reading particularly of Edgar Allan Poe and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, I kind of invented this next song. And for a long time I really wasn't sure what on earth it meant. But that didn't really bother me. But I've since realised that I think the story that I'm telling is that the speaker has committed some terrible crime and he's fleeing it by taking a ship across the ocean. But as was the case with the ancient mariner, his crime pursues him in the form of a terrible storm which breaks out in mid-ocean and seems to be punition for his crime. That is the way that I understand this story. See if you agree. I wrote it. That's one possible meaning. This is called The Storm. We set sail upon the evening tide, lifted gently by the swell. Beneath the crimson sky I looked to land and bade farewell. And as darkness stole across the sea, the night was warm and calm. The candle flame that flickered in my hand gave no cause for alarm. And then the wind began to rage and roar. Soon the rain was coming down, as it did upon the distant shore, the night we laid her in the ground. A host of shadows manned the rolling deck, with bloodless cheeks and vacant eyes. And when I asked them what our chances were, not one of them replied. The captain cursed me in some foreign tongue, that men may speak beyond the grave. The timbers groaned as he was swept from sight beneath a mighty wave. And then the wind began to rave and roar. Hell itself was all around, for it had opened up its gaping jaws the night we laid her on the ground. Oh, the night we laid her on the ground. Then I saw her lovely face once more, and as we all prepared to drown, she was with me as she was before, the night we laid her in the ground. Oh, the night we laid her in the ground.
Thanks, everybody. What I'd like to do now is just give you a little love song. My main base is New York City, as I mentioned. Did I mention it earlier? So my main base is New York City. But I also have a little cabin in Colorado, in the mountains of Colorado. And everything that New York City is, my cabin in the mountains isn't. It's great. You can look at the stars at night. You can take a deep breath of the air, which you certainly couldn't do in New York this week. You can park your car, other wonders, amazing. One of my favourite times of day is first thing in the morning when I step out of my cabin and just take a deep breath of the mountain air. It's very inspiring and revivifying. So this is a little love song set at that particular time of day. And this is called Like Sunrise.
And I open my eyes and the night is gone, and morning light is here. Still pale is the dawn and wet with dew before the sky is clear. She's with me then, and she fills my eyes, and she warms my face like sunrise. And I see her again with her deep brown hair and the colorful things she wears. She sings to the birds and makes each one her friend. Then she brings me the songs they share. She's with me then, and she fills my eyes, and she warms my face like sunrise. She's with me then, and she warms my eyes. Then she'll kiss my face like sunrise. She'll kiss my face like sunrise.
So I'd like to do a song based on a true story. This is one of my older songs, actually. It comes from one of my albums called Joe's Cafe, which was a an album which comprised nothing but songs based on true stories, which I researched mostly in American literature and American recent history. And this particular story took place back in 1932 during the days of the Dust Bowl Depression. Now, my parents were born in 1932, so I don't think even they had no memory of the Dust Bowl. Perhaps the preceding generation clearly did. They grew up with it, and it scarred them, I think, in their memories. It was a very, very apocalyptic period almost. 1932, that was the third year of the National Depression, the Great Depression, the mother of all depressions as it's sometimes called, which began in 1929 with the crash on Wall Street. By 1932, the entire world was in recession. And here in America, about a quarter of the adult male population was out of work. And the hardest hit areas, of course, were the rural areas, as is always the case, it seems. And when the farmers lost their farms because they couldn't meet the mortgage payments anymore, when interest rates had gone through the roof, the men just didn't know what to do with themselves because they had defined themselves as farmers. It wasn't just a job, it was a vocation, it was a way of life, and the farm probably had been in their family for generations. So when it was taken from them, they just tended to give up. They didn't know what they could do with their lives. But the women, they didn't give up. They couldn't afford to give up. They carried on doing what they had always done, which was to put food on the table, a backbone in family life, and order in the household, and above all, hope and faith in the hearts of everyone they loved. And it was really the women who carried us through those dark days. So I want to say thank you to the strong women of America, mothers, daughters, wives, sisters, aunts. I'm sure there are many of you here this evening. We owe you a debt of gratitude for, excuse my French, saving our asses so many times by helping us to believe that tomorrow will be better than today. So this is based on a true story. It concerns a poor family who made their way across America on foot during the days of the Dust Bowl. This is my song based upon that story, and this is called Days of Mercy. Days of Mercy.
Daddy lost his job one day when he wouldn't take a cut in pay. He couldn't find another place, even one that paid him less. So he settled into his easy chair with his dog-eared magazines until the bank took back our house. And my mama only screamed when she was a little girl. She had a dream, she found a pearl hidden in the pocket of her pants. But the pants were full of holes, and when she woke the pearl was gone. And she was only 6 years old. Hold on tight, my mama said, and keep your eyes upon the sun. Faith in the road ahead, the days of mercy will surely come. Or when the world is blown apart in the eye of a hurricane, let strength and courage fill your hearts. Days of mercy will come again. So we sold up all we owned. We headed east in a touring car. We found a place with a plot of land down in windy Arkansas. A daddy worked on a lady's farm, but my mama heard it said he didn't work that lady's fields as much as he worked her bed. So she packed a cardboard case with a single change of clothes and took the baby on her hip. I told us all to follow close, and we began the long walk home to the California coast. Hold on tight, my mama said, and keep your eyes upon the sun. Put your faith in the road ahead, the days of mercy will surely come. Or when the world is blown apart in the eye of a hurricane, let strength and courage fill your hearts. Days of mercy will come again. Fainted in the heat of the Oklahoma sun, my mama led me to a stream and dipped a cloth to bathe my head. We walked all through New Mexico, and in a migrant workers' camp I learned all there was to know about the kindness of the poor. Though the children dressed in rags, they gave us everything they had. Bags of sweets with ready smiles, fresh tortilla around the fire, in the huts of rusty iron. When the baby started crying, hold on tight, my mama said, and keep your eyes upon the sun. Put your faith in the road ahead, the days of mercy will surely come. When the world is blown apart In the eye of a hurricane, let strength and courage fill your hearts. Days of mercy will come again. So we finally reached LA. Beside a lake in Lincoln Park, a man was standing all alone, throwing crumbs to feed the ducks. When are you gonna take those children home? Asked the man, and my mama said, we just walked 2,000 miles, we'll make it yet with a little luck. And then the man just looked away. He said he guessed his turn had come. He pulled out $2 bills, enough to see us right, for a can of pork and beans and some shelter for the night. Hold on tight, my mama said, keep your eyes upon the sun, put your faith in the road ahead. The days of mercy will surely come. When the world is blown apart, in the eye of a hurricane, let strength and courage fill your hearts. Days of mercy will come again. Hold on tight, my mama said, keep your eyes upon the sun, put your faith in the road ahead. Days of mercy will surely come. When the world is blown apart, in the eye of a hurricane, let strength and courage fill your hearts. Days of mercy will come again. Hold on tight, my mama said, keep your eyes upon the sun, put your faith in the road ahead. Days of mercy will surely come. When the world is blown apart, in the eye of a hurricane, let strength and courage fill your hearts. Days of mercy will come again. Right. So in conversation with Jeff, we decided, thanks everybody, we did decide that we would go straight through the set this evening. I hope that's okay with you guys, but without having a little intermission, I'll probably just play straight through. Is that okay with you guys? Anybody needs to go to the restroom, obviously, please go. But so we won't have a break tonight, as it is such a select audience. Let me give you something slightly different. When we were on lockdown, I decided that I would try and use my time by learning some classical pieces on guitar. So that's what I did during the lockdown period when all my live work was cancelled. I sat down and learnt some fairly challenging classical pieces: Bach, Mozart, flamenco, Erik Satie, Edward Elgar, and I now have an entire classical repertoire which I stream online once a month, usually on my Patreon page. I give a classical recital once a month, and also sometimes in live rooms like this I'll do a classical recital if requested. And I've got my other new CD, which I have to mention, which was recorded in February of this year. It's called Instrumental, and it is instrumental, and it features nothing but my classical repertoire with a few folk pieces and some of my own compositions thrown in. So you may consider buying that if you'd like to buy a CD later on. So in the meantime, I'm going to give you a classical piece, followed by one of my own tunes. The classical piece is Bach piece, Jesus, Joy of Man's Desire. And then I'm going to go into my own tune, which is called I'll Never Tire of Looking in Your Eyes. They're both instrumental, back to back as a segue. So in pairing one of my tunes with one of Bach's, essentially what I'm doing is setting myself up for comparison with one of the greatest composers who ever lived. So please be generous in your listening. Jesus, Joy of Man's Desire, followed by I'll Never Tire of Looking in Your Eyes.
Thanks so much, everybody. So I'd like to give you another little love song, if I may. Anybody here not like love songs? Let's share that with the audience, please. Let us know what a sad person you are. I don't know if there are any other guitar players in the room, but this is a guitar tuning that I borrowed from one of my favourite singer-songwriters, Joni Mitchell. Yeah, she's well known for her different guitar tunings, and this is one of her guitar tunings. And I wrote this little song based upon that tuning. So thanks, Joni, wherever you are. This is called I'm Amazed by Your Love. Oops. And I don't need the mountains, I don't need the trees, I don't need the splendor of the sun that shines on me. I don't need the treasure buried out at sea. I don't need the lovely gardens of antiquity. I've traveled far, and all that I've seen left me cold, twisted and scarred. Nothing could move in my soul. But I'm amazed by your love. Oh, when I gaze in your eyes, I hope it stays with me now and all the days of my life. Dreams claw at me in the night, and they whisper of tragedies not yet come to light. We must hold on to these precious times when I'm here by your side and you are by mine. And out on the road, though you are far from me, everywhere I go, wonder is all that I see. It's better than the mountain, it's better than the trees, it's better than the splendor of the sun that shines on me, better than the treasure buried out at sea, it's better than the mighty temples of antiquity. I'm amazed by your love. Oh, when I gaze in your eyes, I hope it stays with me now and all the days of my life. 'Cause I'm amazed by your love. Oh, when I gaze in your eyes, I hope it stays with me now and all the days of my life. So now I've got to do a bit of retuning. I hope you'll just bear with me while I retune this guitar. I actually usually travel with 3 guitars as a rule, in order to have them all ready to go in their different tunings. But actually I had an accident a couple of months ago, and I actually broke my back. It sounds worse than it is. I've got a spinal fracture, and that means that I can't really lift too many heavy things, so I have to be careful about the number of guitars I take with me. Anyway, I'm getting better. It's perfectly okay. So this next little song, I'd like to dedicate to my new friend Andy and Scott. We were talking earlier on before the show. Is it Andy or Andrea?
It's Andrea.
Andrea, I'm sorry. Right, Andy's okay. Right. Okay. Well, I hope I'm a friend, Lisa. I actually wrote this for my wife. She has a little non-profit. I was telling Andrea about it earlier on. Her non-profit. She's the CEO and executive director of a non-profit, and the joke is that she makes more money than I do. Actually, CEOs can make a lot of money as non-profit CEOs, but she doesn't. Anyway, her non-profit is designed to help young kids, mostly girls but some boys, who are struggling with the sense of themselves. Maybe they have issues of gender, which we're totally unequipped to deal with these days because it's so new. Maybe they don't like the way they look, they think they're too fat, they think they're too thin, and of course their friends are no help. In fact, their friends are just cruel. And what makes it all worse is that social media won't give them any peace, and if they don't get enough likes on their recent posts, then they feel that they're unworthy. They've got to change the way they look, they've got to weigh less, they've got to eat different food, they've got to like different music, they've got to change the colour of their hair, their skin, whatever it might be. And my wife's job is to go into public schools and convince these kids that they're beautiful just as they are. In other words, they have to realise their beauty. And I think that's an idea that we could all bear in mind. So I decided to write a little fairy tale about a girl who lived on a desert island where there was no social media, no Facebook, no Twitter. And no one came to visit her for 3 days and 3 nights. And instead of being lonely, she decided she would make her desert island into a beautiful place. And this is called The Ballad of a Brown-Eyed Girl.
She was a young girl with eyes of brown, lived 3 days all alone on an island where the wind and the rain made a pitiful sound, and the sun and the sea endlessly pound the rocks on the shore and the white sand. On the first day she wrote with a stick in the sand words of welcome to all passing sailors. But as evening fell on the very same day, the tide coming in washed her words away, while the light of the moon grew paler. On the second day she stood at her window and sang a beautiful song to the morning. But no one was there on her island to hear, and the beautiful song that she sang disappeared in the sound of the rain that kept falling. On the third day she woke and she planted the seed of a rose that would bloom in her garden. But the sun beat down and it withered the rose, for she'd chosen a place where no river flows, in a land that never gives pardon. And though none ever read what she wrote in the sand, or heard what she sang from her window, though the rose that she planted died in her hand, for 3 days the cruel world was a lovelier land, for the brown-eyed girl had made it so. She was a young girl with eyes of brown, lived 3 days all alone on an island where the wind and the rain make a pitiful sound, and the sun and the sea endlessly pound the rocks on the shore and the white sand.
So I'd like to do some newer songs now. Obviously, they're all new to you, but they're new to me too, because I've only just written. Unless, of course, there are people who actually know my music, which is always a wonderful surprise when that happens. This song actually is from my new CD, Elegies. And I based this particular song loosely, it was loosely inspired by the last few books of La Morte d'Arthur by Thomas Malory, a medieval text on which Camelot, the film, was based, amongst many other stories and films. And in the book, Guinevere is the femme fatale, and because of her secret affair with Lancelot, which is not secret at all, in fact, the whole kingdom of Camelot is brought to nothing. And in this song, I'm envisaging the last meeting between Lancelot and Guinevere. She's gone to a nunnery to try to repent and amend her life and save her soul, as it were, after her lifetime of sinning. And Lancelot goes there to try to persuade her to come and join him one last time. This is called Guinevere.
Guinevere, do you hear at the door? There is one who waits for you. And his eyes tell a tale full of pain, terrible to see. Guinevere, it is I, never fear, I have come to take you home. It is time, lady mine, to put away your tears. Although all we have loved and all we have known has burned in a funeral bier, Guinevere, we have won, for the sun is still lovely and we are here. Please, I beg thee, tempt me not with fine words through your pride. Our kings and kingdoms all now fallen. Let me be, I beg of thee, say of me that I was to blame. Come not again. Guinevere, well I own, I alone was the one who made you sin. And 'twas I, even I, who would die to save your name. Guinevere, you are pale, and the veil that you wear becomes you ill. And I would fain see thee again, with your cheeks aflame. Then bring your 5 ladies, sing with your ladies, robe thee in Lincoln green. Guinevere, take my hand, come with me to Brittany, and be my queen. Urge me not to break my sacred vow. Please go thou now and live in joy with some fair maiden. Lady dear, never fear, he is gone, the one who was here. Then why, tell me why, are your eyes yet full of tears, Guinevere?
That's only the second time I've ever played that in front of people, so I got through it anyway. Excuse me doing my nails. You don't often see a man doing his nails, but we guitarists have to mind our nails very, very carefully. So if I'd like to get the cameras ready and record this special moment. So this is another song from my CD, For the People, which is based largely on old English folk tales, but I found a wonderful true story which dates from the First World War, 1914 to 1918. If you go to a pub just north of London, which I call the Bricklayer's Arms in the song which I'm about to sing, for you, if you go to this pub, look up at the ceiling and you'll see some nail holes in the beams and also about 25 silver coins nailed there. So ask the publican, the landlord, what are those silver coins doing in the ceiling of your pub? And he will tell you the story, which was that in 1914, August of 1914, on the eve of the First World War, all the young men of that village who had been called up and enlisted, in fact, at this stage of the war, they were all enlisted men. They were wearing their new uniforms, of which they were all so proud. They went down to the pub, and each man, with their loved ones, friends, sweethearts, family members, wives, what have you, each man produced from his pocket a florin, which was an English coin worth about 10 pennies, quite a lot of money in those days. And they said, this is a florin, we're going to nail it to the ceiling, and when I come home from the war at Christmas, when all will be over, as of course all wars are supposed to be over at Christmas, we reclaim our florin, and I will buy drinks for the house. So that's what they did. So 110 years later, you go to the pub, look up, and you'll see the nail holes there, which represent all the young men who came home to reclaim their florin. 25 silver coins still waiting for their young men. They never did come back. And that is their war memorial. There's no other war memorial for these young men in that village, and 25 of them at least, from that one village alone, never saw their homeland again. That gives you some idea of the scale of the slaughter and the waste of young men in that war, which was a war that, in my opinion, was not worth fighting. Anyway, so I thought I would write a song based on that true story. I actually wrote this on Memorial Day a couple of years ago, so if there are any veterans in the room, men and women who serve, this is for you too. I call this a florin to the beam. A florin is an English coin worth about 10 pennies. A florin to the beam. Drink up and dry your eyes, nail a florin to the beam with the old bricklayer's arms and leave it there for all to see. Drink up and dry your eyes, and on the day when I come home, it will buy a high old time for you and me. Promise me that you'll remember me in every letter that you send to me. This war will never make an end of me, as long as you are still a friend to me. Drink up and dry your eyes, nail a florin to the beam with the old bricklayer's arms and leave it there for all to see. Drink up and dry your eyes, and on the day when I come home, it will buy a high old time for you and me. If I never see your eyes again, that coin will be the one you never spend. No black ringed notice in the Times for me. One silver penny will do fine for me. Drink up and dry your eyes and nail a florin to the beam of the old bricklayer's arms and leave it there for all to see. Drink up and dry your eyes, and on the day when I come home, it will buy a high old time for you and me. We'll have a high old time, wait and see. Thanks so much, everybody. So here's another song from the For the People CD. I want to return to the theme of Camelot once more. The idea of the Round Table and the Knights of the Round Table was that if you were an aspirant knight in medieval England, the way to get to the top echelon of society, which was the Round Table, was to undergo certain tests of chivalry and manhood. And if you passed them, then you were admitted to the Round Table with King Arthur. And King Arthur himself had to undergo a test of chivalry and manhood, according to the stories of Camelot. He's riding along the road one day on his steed, his charger, his horse, and suddenly a wizened old hag jumps out into the road in front of him and waves a bony finger at him and says, you must find the answer to the question, what is it that women most desire? And then she vanishes in a puff of smoke, and poor old King Arthur is left with having to find the answer to this question, which nobody knows, least of all me. What is it that women most want? I think that Mel Gibson went on a similar quest. Did you see that film with Mel Gibson? Anyway, so I thought I would write a song based on poor old King Arthur's quest for the answer to the question, what is it that women most desire? Then I'm going to go segue into another song from my new CD. This is another medley. And in the second song, a woman is bemoaning the fact that her betrothed husband-to-be has gone off and jilted her at the altar by running away with a Spanish lady with dark ringlets and olive skin and almond eyes and jewellery. So she's understandably upset about that. So this is two songs on the theme of ladies. What is it that ladies most want? And what do ladies do and say when they don't get what they want? This is All Fair Ladies, followed by Spanish Galleon.
Tell me, ladies, much admired, ask and we will answer you. Name the thing you most desire, ask and we will answer true. Shall it be a diamond or a pen? Must I be a pauper or a king? Tell me if you can what I must bring, a lady fair, for my lady's love to win. Will she care for pomp and state? Ask and we will answer you. Plump young fowl to fill her plate, ask and we will answer true. Shall it be a diamond or a pin? Must I be a pauper or a king? Tell me if you can what I must bring, a lady fair, for my lady's hand to win. Will my riches turn her head? Yes, but they'll not reach her heart. Will she prize good sport in bed? Yes, but you must learn the art. Be thou lord or prince or knave, so say all fair ladies. When you're schooled in what she craves, so say all fair ladies. Let your lady have her will, then your cup of joy shall be filled. If no other thing you bring, your lady fair, you your lady's heart shall win. Let your lady have her will, then your cup of joy shall be filled. If no other gift you bring, your lady fair, you your lady's heart shall win. You your lady's heart shall win. Aboard your fine Spanish galleon, I must make my way to the port of Cadiz. My true love is there and still wears my medallion, for I am worth more than that lady of his. How much should I pay you to grant me the passage? A poor maid I am, little money have I, but his lady is rich and she rides in a carriage, and she has bewitched him with dark Spanish eyes. Oh, take me aboard your fine Spanish galleon, I must make my way to the port of Cadiz. My true love is there and still wears my medallion, for I am worth more than that lady of his. Again when I find him, for he bears my image yet close to his heart. No more will her jewels and her finery blind him. No more will she practice her poisonous art. Oh, take me aboard your fine Spanish galleon. I must make my way to the port of Cadiz. My true love is there and still wears my medallion, for I am worth more than that lady of his. I am worth so much more than signoras of his. Nice, everybody. Thank you so much. I'd like to give you just a straight love song. This is called If I Ran to You. If I ran to you, would you lead me all the way to your door? If I called your name, would you feed me all I needed and more? If I loved you as the sea loves the shore, if I lose my way, would you guide me? Would you hold out your hand? When they're hunting me, would you hide me from the law of the land? If I loved you as the sea loves the sun. When the world is burning, when the world is turning me upside down, although you may be far from me, where you are to me shall be my ground, my solid ground. When I open my eyes, will I see you? Would you stand by my side? Will you be here when the water's dry? When the world is burning, when the world is turning me upside down, although you may be far from me, where you are to me shall be my ground, my solid ground. If I ran to you, would you lead me all the way to your door? If you loved me as the sea loves the shore, and if I ran to you, would you open your door? It's been a great pleasure to play for you this evening. Got time for just a couple more songs, I think. I want to say thank you again to Scott for running the sound. Thanks, Scott. Makes all the difference in the world to have a good sound man behind the desk. I want to say thank you again also to Jeff for hosting us and for running this show on love for so many years and doing such a great job. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you. Last, I want to thank you all for being here and supporting live music. So I've got a couple more songs. When I look back on, or when the time comes for me to look back on my life, I often ask myself, will I feel that I did the right thing? Did I do the wrong thing? Was I justified? And this is called Justified. Take me home, take me now, from the place where I hid. Take me home, oh, they let me know. Was I justified in what I did? Free my hands and free my soul, and you will see me rise and fly. Take me home, only let me know if I was justified in your eyes. That I was so much younger then, and I was blinded by pride, and I flew too near the sun again. Or was it justified when so many cried? Lay me down and lay me low. Take me now, my time has come. Take me home, only let me know if I was justified in what I've done. Take me home, take me now, from the place where I hid. Take me home, only let me know. Or was I justified in what I did? Or was I justified in what I did? Or was I justified in what I did?
Very much, everybody. I want to say once again, thanks for coming out and supporting live music. Now, musicians do need your help all the more now, more than ever before. It's been a hard 3 years for musicians. It's been a hard 3 years for everybody, but we lost most of our income, and audiences are still way down and costs are way up. So we do need your help if you want to support live music. The way to do it is to come to a show here at the Focal Point, any other good live venue that you know, and you don't have to compromise in terms of quality. There are lots of really excellent musicians who are waiting to pay for you, and you don't have to pay $1,000 as you do to hear Neil Young, I hear. Who needs to hear Neil Young? Well, I love Neil Young, but you don't have to pay $1,000. You can pay $20 as you did this evening, and I hope you will feel that it was money well spent. I'm certainly very grateful for your kindness and your generosity and for your support for me and for other musicians. Thank you for being here. So we need your help now more than ever before. Please do come out and support live music whenever you get the chance, and keep music alive for our children and their children. Amen. So I wrote this song for some friends of mine who were going through a hard time. It's a song called Prayer. So why don't we take a moment and think about people we know and love who might be in need of a prayer this evening. There's always too many of them. This is called Prayer, and it goes out for everybody tonight who doesn't have a prayer. Prayer.
Here's to you and here's to me. Here's to all we've ever seen, to all to come and all that's been. Here's to all we ever shared, to our fathers and to our heirs, to all people everywhere when they haven't got a prayer. Here's to the young and here's to the old, the to the body and to the soul, to all whose stories are still untold. Here's to the lightness and here's to the weight, to the crooked and to the straight, to all who died too soon or were born too late. Here's to our enemies and here's to our friends, to the river that never ends. Here's to the sinners and to the born again. Here's to the black and here's to the white, to the left and to the right. Here's to the evening and here's to the morning light coming into sight. To the rich and to the poor, here's to the sea and here's to the shore. Here's to all people everywhere, when they haven't got a prayer, 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 when they haven't got a prayer. Here's to the cop and here's to the priest, to the west and to the east. Here's to all they bring to the feast. Here's to the lion and here's to the lamb. Here's to the beast in the heart of man. Here's to the house on rock and the house on sand. Here's to the heart and to the head, to the living and to the dead. Here's to the joy and to the tears we shed. Here's to the first and here's to the last, to the future and to the past. Here's to all who ever raised their glass anytime you asked. To the moon and to the sun, to all we've lost and all we won. Here's to all people everywhere, when you haven't got a prayer, 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 when you haven't got a prayer.
You're such a lovely audience. We'd love to take you home with us. We'd love to take you home. I'm going to give you a fast one and a slow one. How about that? I'm going to give you a non-original tune. This was actually written by Leo Kottke. Do we know Leo Kottke's work here? Well, next time you see Leo Kottke, will you call him on the way he's been ripping off my style for so... This features on my CD instrumental. It's one of Leo Kottke's earlier tunes. This is called The Fisherman by Leo Kottke. you. So be safe on the road tonight going home, and stay safe, stay well and healthy. We don't forget about COVID. It certainly hasn't forgotten about us. Be mindful of your loved ones, friends and neighbours. And if you'd like to follow me on Facebook, please do that. My Patreon page also is listed on my website, rupertwatesmusic.com. I come through Missouri at least 2 or 3 times every year. Would love to play for you again. So find out where I'm playing next. My calendar lists about 100 gigs at any one time. I usually do about 120 gigs in any given year, and I'll come through Missouri and would love to see you again. So be safe, and here's hoping that we will meet again in safety and health further down the road. And this is called Further Down the Road. When thorny darkness comes to chill my bones, and when I stumble on the rocks and stones, I see a fire ahead that guides me home, further down the road. And as I walk towards the blaze of light that calls me like a siren day and night, it's always at the very edge of sight, and further down the road, further down the road, gleams the promise of the happiness we're owed. Further down the road, love surely waits there where the fire still glows. When time is closed on all we've done and said, when all that's left of me is dust instead, think only that I've gone some way ahead, and further down the road, further down the road, gleams the promise of the happiness we're owed. Further down the road, love surely waits there where the fire still glows. When thorny darkness comes to chew your bones, and when you're lost and scared and all alone, I'll light a fire ahead to guide you home, further down the road, a little further down the road. Very much, everybody.